Sandra. We opened the wrong link this morning and we were live in the other place until now. So stay tight where you are. We're logging on now and hopefully everybody logs on there as well. But yeah, we were in the wrong link. Okay.
Hey guys, we're going to start in just 1 second. We're just having some technical difficulties over here. Okay, just give us 1 sec. Okay.
So hello for the first time and hello yet again to those who are on the other link with us. We started teaching over on the other link and diving into it. Then we realized, wait a minute.
To it.
Where's everybody? We
So
had like
good.
5. Oh my gosh. Sorry for the delay, guys. There were 2 links that look very similar and we ended up
Yeah.
with the other link.
We created another link for
Yeah,
something. I just
yeah.
don't even remember in my mind right now what
It
it's for.
happened. It happened.
And so we created a second link and we hit go live and then we're sitting there. We're like, where is everybody today? Where's Alexandra? Like, where is everybody? And then I was like, I get the
We had
little
like
tap.
4 people on there and we're like,
Just check my messages and she's like, it says you're in another meeting. I was like,
we're
oh
in a
shoot,
meeting.
you're live streaming in the group.
And we were on fire over there too. We were going for it.
Stephanie was like, this is good content. I'm like, I'm gonna have to grab it and go put it somewhere. And then I said again, like, now I can't get it to live stream, preparing live stream. I
know it was quite
dripping down my face here. Oh my gosh. These are some of the technical difficulties in life, right? Like,
by the way, guys, thank you for being patient. Thank you for sticking with us and for being here despite that little hiccup there.
yeah,
Because-
thank you, everyone.
thank
We
you.
appreciate your patience. I don't like, Gabriel and I do not like being late. Okay. So if we say we're going to start at 12, we're the type
Well,
of
we
people.
did start at 12, technically.
12.
Just in the wrong place.
Yeah, yeah,
In the wrong place.
I like being on time, so I want to apologize for that because I really do. I love being on time. If we say we're going to start at 12, we're starting at 12. You know what I mean? Not 12:10, 12:15, unless there's like a technical difficulty, as it was the case today.
So apologies for that, and we will try our best to
Yeah.
dive in and
Yeah.
do it right.
Yeah,
Okay,
right.
yes.
So welcome to day 3 of Align with Purpose. We're so grateful to be here with you all. Today's going to be a really big day. I don't know if I'm going to be able to reiterate exactly what I said over there in the first round because it was so divinely channeled.
We were in the flow.
Yeah. And so I want to introduce myself very quickly. My name is Tara Antler.
And I'm King Gabriel.
And we are the co-founders of Ascension Academy of Light, which is a global center. And this is what I was sharing. And as I'm about to share this, I want you all to really start thinking about your own journey. Okay, because even though we're talking about skills and preparation and being prepared, it's not what you think. Okay, so I just want to give you a little cliffhanger there. It's not what you think we're going to talk about today. What I really want you to do while we're sharing a little bit of our journey right now, I want you to also reflect on your journey, because we've all had a journey, a path that we've walked that set the stage for what comes next. But many times we don't know what's coming next. We just know we're taking a step, we're walking, we're doing the thing, we're walking, we're taking the step, we're walking, and we have no idea. And what I was sharing is that, you know, in our journey now, after 23 years, some of the things that we do specialize in, I was sharing this with one of our business coaches this morning, and I said, I'm really passionate about creating a movement right now, a big, big movement. But I have about 10 movements that I could initiate right now. Like, no joke. I have about 10 movements. Okay. I have like a homeschooling, conscious parenting movement I could initiate. I've got one that's all about creating bliss heaven on earth. We've got the Thrive movement. Like, there's so many right now that I could take a stand on. So I was like, like I need some clarity right now with the movement. Because I can see where all of it fits. And I couldn't quite see like which movement do I fire up first. Right. And in our journey, we've specialized. When people are like, oh, you can't have more than one specialty, that's bogus, you guys. You are a creative divine being where you can have many specialties. It's just a matter of how these puzzle pieces, right? You guys know part of the extra bit, if you message Alexandra, is to get your puzzle pieces and you're starting to put those together. And many times we don't see how these puzzle pieces are going to fit together. We're just picking up the pieces. Right. And so along our journey, our mastery that we've done with clients, it started very much with like, well, first meditation. Gabriel found meditation when he was 3. I found meditation when I was 14. And then it became about healing, really supporting people in their healing journey, physical healing, mental healing, emotional healing. And then it opened up into this whole thing of spiritual and energetics. And that's where now we're more in leadership. We really love leadership conversations, like higher level conversations around our identity and what you're creating on the planet. We also specialize in manifestation mastery, real true co-creation mastery. And so as I'm sharing this again, I want you to think about your journey, steps, pieces you picked up along the way that start to create a puzzle. Because what I was sharing before in the first take of this conversation was that for Gabriel and I didn't know this. He shared this in the live just a moment ago, that I had a psychic tell me that she saw me being a teacher. And in my mind, the framework for teacher, all I knew was the traditional teacher, like a grade school teacher or a high school teacher. And when she said that, I was like, no way, man. No way. There is no way I am destined to be a teacher. Like, that's all my mind could think because that's the only construct I had at that time. So I want you to think about that for a second because there may be tools, gifts, things that you've already practiced that you have in your repertoire, but you just don't have the framework that's going to hold it. And it wasn't until I finished my schooling as a holistic healthcare practitioner that one of many of my teachers and the owner of the college, she called me personally, said, Tara, we love your facilitation style. You are a born leader and teacher. Can you come back to the school and teach? And then all of a sudden I was like, I was like, aha.
Different type of teacher, right?
And I would say right now, fast forward 23 years later of working with clients and being like in this beautiful business and service, 80% of the time I'm teaching and facilitating. And Gabriel was sharing too. You had the same thing happen.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I had my grandmother who was basically the elder in our tribe,
Mhm.
right? Because we live like a tribe, I would say. Say that now you can be a teacher. That's what they saw when they see me heading that path, right? But from the time I heard teacher as well, I had no other context for it but some sort of school teacher, and I was like, no, that's not exactly my ambition or my intention in life. I'm not gonna be a school teacher. I mean, don't get me wrong. I actually think being a school teacher is
It's
awesome.
very awesome.
It's a great job.
Mhm.
You're helping kids to
Mhm.
not only to learn information, but to learn themselves and to learn who they want to be in life. Because kids definitely gravitate towards their teachers and admire certain aspects of certain teachers that they encounter, right? So
Mhm.
that's still good. But I never had the context for it outside of that
Mhm.
until later on in life. And that came through me doing meditation, having insights, healing. Actually, I became a healer for quite a while in my experience as well, and did that spiritual healing. And then from there, the way opened up to start to teach,
Mhm.
but to actually teach in a way that was unexpected.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And you might have that too. There might be some unexpected, unknown
Yes.
things. And what you're doing now, okay, just like your years past, whatever you were doing before, whatever you've done up until the point that you're at right now in your journey,
Yes.
that all prepared you for certain things. It prepared you up until this point. This point. And here's what's really interesting. There are things now that you get to do, be, choose at this juncture, at this point, that's going to prepare you for what comes next. But sometimes we don't know exactly what's about to unfold next. I didn't know that I was going to become a teacher. I just knew I had to learn how to meditate. I didn't know that I'd finish my yoga teacher's training when I was 30. I just knew that when I was 14 that I started doing that. I didn't know, right? Like I could list like 100 different things that I didn't know back then that I
Yes.
now can see, oh my gosh, thank God I walked that path and was courageous and took the steps because it brought me to this point.
I have to jump in with one more thing
Mhm.
here that's amazing.
Mhm.
The other aspect of that is timing.
Mhm.
I speak about timing sometimes, right? Because back in that day, there wasn't really anything like that happening on a large scale.
Yeah.
So you would think you're a teacher, but all you could see then was that until something new became available. I mean, there are new sports and new
Mhm.
things happening in the world that, on one level, just didn't exist
Mhm.
before that.
Mhm.
Right. And it just so happens that you're getting ready for something you don't even know is going to happen.
Mhm.
But then when it happens, it then all makes sense. Right.
Mhm.
And that's how our life looks sometimes too. So sometimes our purpose could feel like that. Like you're doing all this work, you're putting all these things together, and like, what is this even for? You don't even know
Mhm.
what it's for until the
Mhm.
moment arrives, that until the timing and until
Mhm.
things align.
Mhm.
Right. And then you realize, oh, that's what it was for.
Mhm.
That's the magic to things.
That's right.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
exactly it.
Yeah.
That's what Linda was saying too in the comments is that
Yeah.
she was a school teacher for 30 years. Now
Yeah.
she guides adults, which she's grateful for. See
Beautiful.
how there's like there's
Yeah.
a transformation and an evolution. I was sharing with Gabriel that there was this lovely sister duo that I met at one of the conferences that I was at for leadership. And they were nurses. They are nurses. And they saw they had their whole life, that's what they were doing. And then all of a sudden they saw, you know what? There's this gap where people need support, they need care,
Yes.
especially as they're, in their latter part of their years, and they don't fit into a nursing home, but they need support. And there wasn't anything that filled that for them. So they bought this property that had two houses and they created nurse care, but in more of a retirement setting that was a bridge, and it blew up the whole thing just like in a positive way. It got bigger and bigger to the point where they now have a franchise company. They didn't know. That's what they were sharing. They didn't know that that's where the path was going to lead them. They just saw that, oh my gosh, there is something
There's a
seriously
need.
missing from the
Yes.
equation.
Yes.
And this is the conversation that we want to have with you today on day 3. When you start to look at skills, what you're being prepared for, I also want you to open up your mind that your purpose, if you're really living in alignment with the larger part of everything, higher consciousness, your purpose may actually fill a need or a gap or a prayer or a wish or a something that someone else is asking for or needing in that moment.
Yep. Yep.
Because creator, the divine, is looking at the whole thing, making sure that the whole thing, we don't just rise as one. You don't just rise as one. Yes, when you clear one, you clear all. When you heal one, you heal all. And we rise together, but we're rising together. This is the most important thing, is that we are, as a community, rising together. As a collective, we're rising together. So I get so passionate and fired up because when each person lights up and each person activates their gifts, their inner light, their purpose, the next layer, the whole thing gets better. The whole thing gets brighter. Alexandra, is there anything that you want to share with that? Because I feel like there might be something, I don't know, I'm just getting a little ping.
Yeah, no, totally. I think I had a similar experience to you guys, where if I think about micro, which micro now feels like the last 15 years, but if I think about like my previous professional life, I had a master's in communication. I was a marketing manager. I worked in a space and I started to gain these skills. And eventually I transitioned out of that space. But when I think about the way in which it continues to serve, I didn't grow up in an entrepreneurial household, but I ended up marrying someone who is an entrepreneur in his soul. And so I was able to transition those skills, and the work I get to do here with you guys, right? I mean, I'm communicating. That's the majority of my purpose here in this space, right?
Mhm.
And so I've been able to take from these skills and have them support me on my path moving forward, right? I think about the studying I did when I was drawn to study yoga and meditation, and kind of similar to you, Tara, where I had no intention to teach. To me, teaching wasn't,
Mhm.
as I was like you guys, I was like, what? And the opportunity presented itself where she said, I need to fill a gap. I need someone to come in and just fill in for these classes. And then it turned into years of teaching yoga and meditation, learning how to lead, finding my voice, learning how to read the energy in a room and like adapt and accommodate, right? And like hear people. That's where I learned how to like sit and listen, right? Because if you've ever been in that space, right? People open up. It's a really safe and beautiful space. And so they like to open up to you. So it opened up this whole other world of communication and connection, right? So I see these as like building blocks. And if we're able to appreciate that and recognize, like this led me here, then wherever you are now, just like you guys were, leaning into, you're being prepared in this moment. You're being provided the opportunity now to learn new skills. Like what else can I put in my toolbox that's going to support me? And now I get more curious than anything, where I think about some of the skills I'm learning now, both running, the other businesses that I run with my husband. And now we're building this property. I'm learning all these new skills, and I'm kind of getting jacked up about it because I'm thinking, ooh, like I wonder where else I'm going to get to apply this in the future. Like I know there's a reason. Right now my brain feels like it might go like this some days, but I know that there's purpose in it, right? So for you guys that are potentially in that space where sometimes it feels like friction, or why the heck did I work that hard? Like why the heck did I work that hard to get there? And now, am I really applying it? But you see it, right? Bird's eye view, you're really able to see and appreciate it. And that's why anytime in present day, again, when you feel that friction, or frustration or resistance sometimes, it's so much quicker for me to pivot back and recognize like I'm being prepared for something bigger, right?
100%. And that's what we want for all of you, is to start to tune into that bigger conversation. So while we're having this conversation today, and there's going to be room in your notes, we really want you to reflect, because this is like the halfway point. Okay. I was sharing this when we first went live, and then I'm going to say hi to everybody, that at the halfway point in our life, right? You hear this usually at like around the 50. Sometimes it happens a bit before, a bit after, but in and around that 50 zone, there's a rebirth. You can hear it from people. They go through this rebirth where they're letting go a lot of the old, they're stepping even more powerfully into something new. There's all this like churning. This happens in a 30-day something that you're in. I remember at the 15-day mark of our yoga teachers training, it was the same thing. You're like, this is hard, right? You think about when you're in a like a workout program, like what Gabriel was sharing yesterday. It's like sometimes you get to the point where you're like, this is so hard. And then you're like, okay, I can do this. It's like if any of you ever have run,
You get your second wind.
you get your
like they
second
say.
wind,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Because you're like, oh, this is so hard. And then you want to like put it down, you want to give up. This is everything in life. This happens in every area of your life that's meaningful to you. Okay? It's like being in a 5-day masterclass at we're at the halfway point. Wednesday's the halfway point today, right? So we're like, this is the point. This is the point of expansion, of no return, meaning I'm not going back. I'm not going back to what was. I'm not going back to the past pains. I'm not going back to what wasn't working. I'm actually choosing in this moment to move forward. And I highly recommend, this is not in your notes, but I highly recommend in this moment that you really have an honest conversation with self and ask yourself, what is it that you are choosing in this moment to move forward on? Contemplate that. What are you moving forward on? If this is your point of no return, what are you powering up? What are you choosing? What are you like? I'm done with that now. I'm done with that past. I'm done with that thing. I'm done with that old way. I'm moving forward. And this is a really powerful exercise because do you know how many people would get to a halfway point in anything?
Mhm.
Like anything. And guess what most people do at the halfway point?
When it gets hard.
They give up.
Uh-huh.
They literally pull themselves out of the game. This is too much. This is too hard. This is too challenging. I don't know what I'm doing. All the doubt comes up, all the limitations come up, or even there's just like this flat energy, and then people are like, I'm out. And you see people disappear, you see people stop, you see people self-sabotage, you see people just get so caught in the confusion or whatever that halfway point is that they're just like, that's it, I can't. But this is where our leadership is so important, our self-leadership. This isn't just about leading a movement or leading a business or leading clients, or this is about your self-leadership. And if you can create that choice right now where I choose in this moment, this marks a point for me. October 1st, 2025, in Align with Purpose Masterclass, I choose. This is a point of no return. Unless you want to stay where you are, unless you want to be exactly in the repetition in the loop, or you want to fall back. This analogy dropped down probably 6 months to a year ago. Any of you ever downhill ski? When you go to downhill ski and you try on skis for the first time, they put you in the ski bindings and then they say, now fall forward. They fall forward so that you can test out, like if you fall out of your skis, the bindings are actually gonna like open up and let you go. You don't fall back. And I love this analogy because when you're wanting to do something new, getting on a slope, on a hill, especially if you've never done that before, is scary. I remember the first time I downhill skied, I almost crapped my pants. Beyond when I was 2 and 3, my dad was a ski instructor, so he taught me how to ski when I was like 2 and 3. But then I didn't ski for a long, long time until I was like 16. Oh my gosh, so scary. But doing new things or getting back into something or going for something, it can be scary. You are going to have fears that come up. But I would write it down, the date today as a declaration, October 1st, 2025, align with purpose. I choose. And what are you choosing? What's your declaration for today? Powering up. I had a challenge yesterday, chose to release, take a walk, and then receive another inquiry into my offering within minutes. Love this forward motion. That's amazing, Lisa. Congratulations. I want to celebrate you. Alexander, can you screenshot that from Lisa and send it to me? I'd love to share that. That's so beautiful. I'm here today because my soul called me to be here. I'm not sure what it is, but maybe it's why I'm here. Exactly. And sometimes it's just being in the present moment, right? Like just being here to allow the whispers and allow something to land. I guarantee you something's going to land, right? So let me open it up. I want to say hi to everybody, and then we're going to continue on with this powerful day. So we said hi to Alexandra already. Hi, Madison. Nice to see
Maddie.
you. Hi, Dawn. Nice to see you. Hi, Linda. Thank you for being here. Hi, Becky. Thanks for popping over from there to here. Thank you. Hi, Jack. Nice to see you again.
Jack and Michelle, right?
Jack and Michelle. Hi, Shri Ram.
Shri Ram.
That's a hard one to say.
Shri
Shri.
Ram.
But I want to do it like,
Shri Ram.
you know?
Oh
that's
yeah,
what I do first.
it sounds good when you say that, right? Shri Ram.
Yes.
I hope you like. I hope
Yes.
you're in good humor about this, right? Shri Ram. Hi, President.
Hi, Carlin. Nice to see you. Hi, Amanda.
Carlin.
Hi, Beverly. Whoever the iPhone is, let us know in the comments.
It
your
might be
name.
Laura again.
It might be Laura
Might be
again.
Laura.
Mhm.
Might be.
Hi, Brenda. Hi,
Hi.
Amy. Hi, Fernanda.
Yes.
Nice to see you. Hi, Tracy. So great to reconnect. Tracy, it's funny enough. Okay, so
Hi.
on day 1 or 2, I said about Michelle that Michelle and I met at an event that Tracy Greer was also at, and Tracy was my very first photographer. And I was so nervous. I'd never had an official like photography session. I was so nervous. I was like, you got to tell me what to do. Like, I don't even know what to do. I felt so awkward. And she was so gracious and so incredible. And I felt so relaxed. We had a blast. We had so much fun. It was an incredible photo shoot. So this is how far back. This was like 18 years, maybe 20 years ago.
Wow.
18 to 20 years ago. Yeah. So good. Hi, Gina. Nice to see you. Hi, Ricky. Hi, Zoe. Hi, Jack. And Michelle. Hi, Sarah Jane. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Marta. Hi, Peter. Hi,
Hey, Peter, what's
Angie.
up? Hi.
And hi to everyone who's catching the replay. We're so grateful to have you all here. And hi to everybody who's live streaming on Facebook. If you guys want to come over and join us in Zoom, Alexandra will post the link there for you. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's open up our workbook. If you don't have the workbook as yet, just type workbook and Alexandra will make sure that she gets that to you. And then let's continue on. Also, this is also beautiful so far. So resonating. Amazing. I'm so happy to hear that. It's Mariah. So nice to see you. Thanks for being here. And Lisa's saying, I'm booking my 4th quarter 1-to-1. So good with you guys. So good. Yes, we're going to go deeper 100%. One of my best memories, right? I know. It's so
Uh-oh.
good. It was so fun. It was like soul sisters, you know, to find some direction and ambition to walk forward. That's so good, Brenda. I love that clarity, right? Like, I think it's really amazing to have clarity. I'm feeling unsure about purpose right now. My purpose has changed so much over the years. And now with a new baby, it feels like my purpose is just being the best mom I can be for my girls. 100%. That is a part
That
of
is
purpose.
sometimes the purpose, right? They're right there.
Mhm. I feel like my ego is saying that's enough. It's enough, right? But my
Enough for now.
yes, my heart is saying that's where I need to be. So it's a funny feeling. I totally get that one. You know, I remember when Arya was born, and then when the twins were born, even more so. And I really had to sit with that because and you will know by your own intuitive knowing, right? Like you will know what that looks like for you. And the next generation needs us. Like this is the whole thing, right? The next generation needs us. Our kids need us. The world needs us. And this is so important for everyone because when you light up pieces of your purpose, that next layer of your purpose, what you came here to do, what your soul has been holding for you, it's not just for you.
Uh-huh.
It's like what Gabriel always says, you don't keep it for you, right? You have a saying about that, don't you? Something to that effect. It's like, it's not meant to be kept for ourselves. It's meant to be shared.
Yeah.
Right?
What I say is that giving is proof of having, right? And when you share something out there, when you give something out, you're aware that you have it. So it actually magnifies within you the sense of having. If you ever feel like you don't have, for instance, going and doing things like volunteering and all those things that people do, it's not just random things. When you go out and you start to give, you realize that you have something to give. So you start to feel that value and that energy running through you. You do recognize that, as Alexandra has said there, you are enough. You notice that, and that really puts you in a different space and starts creating a huge influx of energy in your environment and in what you're doing. Yeah.
100%. I agree with you.
Yeah. So yeah.
Jack is saying Linda's in the hot tub. That's so good. I love it. We're in Florida right now.
That's true.
It's like I got sweat beads. I'm like, I need to be in a cooler right now.
That's a great place.
That's
to
a great place to be to take in the love. I love it.
Really.
Yes, I feel like I've been stuck in a plastic hamster ball for decades, and I am so much more. I am so much more energy, have energy to explode. If you're
Yeah.
going to explode out there, 100%.
Really.
Sometimes that can happen, right? When we have a lot Any of you ever feel that where you like, I just have a lot. I have a lot that I want to share. There's a lot that I want to do. There's a lot that I want to give. And then what? Right? And we're going to talk about that a little bit today, more so tomorrow, because tomorrow we go into action, right? Today, we really want you to feel more solid around what maybe that next piece of your purpose is. So I'm glad that we're having this conversation because for some of you, it's relaxing into exactly where you are. For some of you, it's expanding and exploring a new part, a new layer. For some of you, you've got all the pieces and all the layers, and then you're like, now what do I do with it? Right? So I want you to see where you're at. And some of you might have a little bit of like all of it, right? So notice where you're at, write that down. Because again, when you write it down, hi, Laura, nice to see you. When you write it down, you get to bring it out of your headspace and you get to ground it a little bit more. Okay. So ask yourself, like, where am I in that? Right? Where am I in this journey? Am I in the phase of maybe you need to acquire new skills, or maybe you're like, I'm already filled up. Now I just need to know what to do. Maybe you're in a space where you have so much already. And again, you're like, I just need a pathway. I need to find a way through. Right. And some of you, it might be just relaxing into where you are right now. And it will start to unfold. The new layers and the pieces will unfold. So really start to look at that, feel into that for yourself. For me, it's letting go of past insecurities and accept the changes in my life in the most positive light. I'm not the same person I was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And so time to live for today, 100%.
Yep.
And that's all of us. Like, I'm not even who I was 6 months ago. Remember we said on Monday, like energy and everything is speeding up. Consciousness is speeding up. So we're changing and growing all the time, right? You want to add something to that, I feel.
No, I'm good. I
Yeah,
always
okay.
have something to say. I always have something to say.
Yeah.
We could continue with the
Yeah.
flow for now.
Becky was saying today, October 1st, in alignment with purpose, I choose to let go of the weight and heaviness and open to expansion and growth and my purpose. That feels vulnerable and big to write here. I'm so happy you did, Becky, because that's part of your voice.
Yes.
That's your expression, right? And when we start to express, it feels vulnerable because all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, somebody sees me, right? It's like we put in a big billboard or a sign. We're like, yeah, somebody sees me. Oh my God, now what, right? Being seen is like the thing that we all want most. We all want to be seen. We want to be heard. We want to be acknowledged for the divine being that we are with all our gifts. And yet at the same time, we're like, they gotta hide. They don't want to be seen, right? So I'm so happy that you expressed that here. I can feel the throat chakra like like tingling a little bit. 100%. Okay, my conversations with my family has shifted in the energy also. Everyone is stepping forward. I do feel back online now after the past few years of transformation, stretching, contemplating. The community has been fully supportive. Yeah, this supporting the shift in my life. So much has happened that weighted me down and had to process the teachings to expand. 100%. That's a huge part of it, right? Like there's so much expanding right now, and we're integrating all of it. Yeah, Sarah's saying, I've been feeling a nudge to do public speaking. And I was invited to speak at an event in January just yesterday. Congratulations. I love that. So good. I love the relaxing and surrendering process. It's been helping a lot and getting out of my own way. That's amazing. I want to celebrate you. That's amazing.
Congratulations. Yes.
I've been where I was. I'm now where I want to be. And now I'm aligning for something elevated, bigger, and more expanded than ever before. That's beautiful. Really beautiful. Relaxing into where we are, right? Exactly. You're so welcome. Yeah, I just started tearing up. It does. It feels big, right? Because when we're seen, when you actually let yourself be seen, it's you saying to yourself, I'm worthy of expressing these gifts. I'm worthy of expressing my purpose. I'm worthy of embodying my purpose. Right? And the moment that you choose that, and there's an expansion and a relaxation at the same time. You're expanding into more parts of yourself, and then you got to relax into it and breathe with it and be with it. Right? And so start to look at each piece, each layer of your life and how you're meant to serve now.
And there's truly a place in this experience that you have to fill, right? If you're not doing it, then somebody else has to do it, obviously, right? And that comes up when, for instance, we come up with grand ideas, like this happened to Tara and us a number of times. We came up with ideas to start big missions, etc. And sometimes timing wise, we held off on it only to find out a few weeks later, some of the times, that somebody else did the same exact thing.
Yep.
right? And it's not by chance.
Yeah.
It's almost like we have this grand puzzle, just like the
Mhm.
pieces of the puzzle, and all the pieces do have to be filled eventually,
Mhm.
right? If you're not serving that purpose, it
Mhm.
will still be served. It must
Mhm.
arise because it is a need within the whole,
Yeah.
right? So when you're called to do something, this is what a calling really is. When you're called to do something and you feel that urge or that desire within you, and then you're brave enough, right, to follow through with it,
Mhm.
it will definitely have the impact that it's intended.
Mhm.
And you can be there to see that come through, right?
Mhm.
As you. It's a beautiful thing to see when
Mhm.
you've really fit that part.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you may be called to another part right
Mhm.
after that too, when you've served that original purpose, right? You'll have other things to do as well that will contribute to the
Mhm.
whole. Yeah.
Because it's forever
Yeah.
unfolding,
Always.
right? Like this is what we really want you to see is that you are forever unfolding.
Yep.
You don't just stay exactly who you are and what you are from the time you were born until the time you complete this journey. You are going to grow, you are going to change, you are going to have layers to your fulfillment, to your purpose and your expression. There are layers to your expression. When we stop our expression, that's where the problem is because we feel suppressed, like we were talking about yesterday, clearing those obstacles. When we clear that, we make space and we can just relax into our beingness. We're like, okay, maybe right now part of that purpose is to be a really present mom.
Mm-hmm.
We homeschool our
Mhm.
kids, right? Like if we don't be present to that, we're missing something here.
Yes.
Not for us, for them, right? But the moment we get present with them and we're like, this is important. This is just as important as anything else in our life, in what I think is important. Because here's the other interesting thing. There's what you think is important in your individual I. I like to do this. I want to do this. I want to be of service in this way. I would like to, right? We have that. And then there's a greater purpose. And I know for a fact that when we move into the greater whole, which is a big part of the conversation we're going to be having, I left a message for our light leaders in our mastermind this morning. And I said, this is the conversation we're going to be having in this bigger way. How our contribution, who we be, who we become, serves the greater whole, where yes, it takes care of us. This is a cool thing. When you serve the greater whole, it takes care of you too. And I know sometimes we can get so individually focused. This is why it's so great to relax into the whole, right? Being of service to our family, homeschooling, our
That's so funny.
children,
That's so funny
mhm,
because
our
it's
clients.
hilarious. You're right. You're right.
Mhm.
Linda says, if you're homeschooling, you are people who teach children.
Yeah, yeah.
We do teach children. You are right. We are teachers.
Right? So you see what I'm
In
saying?
that way
Like
too. We
80%
couldn't escape
of the
it, eh?
time of my life,
Yeah.
this is what we're doing, right?
Yes,
Like
yes. Our purpose will always be served.
that
Hilarious.
is, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
And this is the cool thing about all of you. Your purpose, it cannot be denied.
Yes.
It cannot be denied. It's part of who you are.
Mhm.
It's not just what you do, it's who you are. Okay. So for today, we really want you to step into your purpose in maybe a new, refreshed way. Maybe there are some skills, maybe there's support that you need, and really to be able to identify what you need most, maybe what you need to learn, what you need to integrate. Some of you, it's integration. Some of you, it's expression, so that you feel fully prepared and supported to live your calling. That's really what this is about, right?
Yeah.
So on the next page, or the first page after it says day 3, skills and preparation, there's space there for you. And at the very top, it says, how has life,
Or what
or what has
life
life shown you?
Yeah.
What has life shown you? Just like we were describing, right? Like life has shown us all sorts of things.
Mhm.
Life has shown me how,
Told us things and shown us things. Yes.
right? That being a really great homeschooling mama is just as important as showing up here live. Fulfilling that part of my purpose and this part of my purpose, it's all one and the same. Life has shown me that. And if I cut one off, I'm losing out. If
Yeah.
I don't serve
Yeah.
my purpose here, then I'm not going to be the best mom. I know that of myself. Because I shared with you guys yesterday, when I serve, when I teach, when I'm with clients, I get so much alignment. That alignment, it's like, and I feel better. I feel happier. And then I'm a happier mom and I don't feel like I'm missing anything. Right? For some of you, it might just being so fully present to being mom that that is enough. But if there's any part of you that's like, tick, 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 hello, like I would like to be part of this journey too, or you feel like tick, 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 some parts missing, then maybe there's a new way that includes all parts of you.
Yeah.
We're not supposed to sacrifice, you guys. We really aren't. I really don't believe that creator, the divine God, whatever you want to call it, I do not believe it places us in situations where we have to sacrifice this or that. I believe there's a reality that exists that includes the all, that's for the all, and that allows all parts of you to be utilized and expressed. Anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, I was gonna say that
Mhm.
even in the role of being a teacher, for instance, most people would think that when you're a teacher, you stop being a student,
Mhm.
right? Like you graduated to something
Mhm.
bigger. But it's kind of hand in hand,
Mhm.
or hand in glove, as some would say, right? To be a great teacher, you actually have to be a great student because you have to learn
Mhm.
exactly what it is. And learning might be in the form of receiving downloads or being receptive. It might be through meditation and receiving
Mhm.
information,
Mhm.
right? And then share that information in the clearest way possible
Mhm.
that is understandable for those who are listening, right? And then you continue in that cycle. You must
Mhm.
be a learner to be a teacher. So again, giving and receiving is showing up again. You must receive to give, right? And as you give, you realize you have, and you continue that cycle on and on, right? And it empowers you to feel more confident in what you're doing. It strengthens you.
Mhm.
It strengthens you.
Mhm.
So, whatever you decide to do, whatever your purpose is, technically, you're going to have that sort of role going on.
Mhm.
You'll move towards the purpose, right? You'll learn the details around it and strengthen yourself in it until you feel like, yes, I can do this. I know I can do this.
Mhm.
Yes, I'm doing this. Yes, I am this. Like
Mhm.
Michelle earlier on wrote, I am something
Mhm.
instead of I
Mhm.
have, right? There's no difference between I am and I have. It's actually the same thing because you become that thing through your learning in order to express it. So it wasn't an error, actually. It was just
Mhm.
wonderfully written, right? If you have something or you become something,
Mhm.
you will find yourself expressing it. And that's what life shows
Mhm.
you bit by bit, bit by
Mhm.
bit. It strengthens you in the areas
Mhm.
that you're fine tuning. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's what I wanted
100%.
to say.
And I want to answer, Lisa asked a question. I also want to mention for anyone who upgraded to VIP,
Yes.
if you want to, you can have two options. You can either type your question that will hot seat with you in the comments if you want to do it that way, or if you want to come on camera with us, just do the raise hand thing so that I know you're ready,
Yeah.
and then we'll bring you up, okay? Because
It's an emoji hand or
yeah, it's just a raise a
thingy
hand option.
Yeah,
Yeah. And we find that when we hot seat like this, it's really powerful because we are all connected, right? And so there might be somebody that brings something forward that's exactly for you. It's
Yes.
exactly what you need because we're all connected and we're one and the same. This is how we get to grow and learn together. There's something else that I want to mention too that was coming in for Carlin. And this is for any of you. If any of you ever feel like you are sacrificing a part of yourself for some other part, whatever that means to you, you know your life. I could give you 1,000 examples, but I won't. You know your life. If you ever feel like you're sacrificing a part of your life for another part of your life, there's a way where all things get to happen at once. And I'm going to give the example for Carlin, and you guys can take whatever you need from this, okay? I would ask myself if motherhood is really, really important, just like for me, homeschooling is really, really important. What allows me to show up as the best mom and the best homeschooling mama I could be? What supports me? Because I don't want to show up half ass. I want to show up the best. I want to be the best homeschooling mama. I do. And I know that there's going to be like stuff in that. And this isn't about like perfection.
No, no.
This is just
Yes.
me showing up in the highest capacity.
Yes.
The highest capacity, the most aligned. Maybe that if you don't like the word best, then do use aligned. What's going to allow me to be the most aligned homeschooling mama? And for me, my answer, and you will have an answer. This is in your partnerships. This is in your work. This is if you have a business owner, if you work with clients, as a practitioner, a healer, a leader, a teacher, a coach. This is all the things. What allows you to show up in your most aligned self? And I know for me, I share this with Gabriel. Going for that morning walk is so necessary for me. Today I went down to the beach and I caught the sunrise. Oh my gosh, you guys, I came back a lot, like so aligned, so aligned. Meditation is good for me. Prayer, connecting to source is very, very good for me. Laughing is very good for me. And also, I shared with you when I teach, when I'm of service in this way, this is very good for me. It allows me to be a better mom, right? If I take all those things off, can I be a really great mom? Yeah, I can. And I feel like if I just focus in on that one area, I feel like there's something missing over here that's not being fulfilled. But that's just me. You have to know that for yourself, but I would just try that on and feel what that feels like in your body, okay? Yeah. All right, so back to the notes. You are being prepared by life and all your experiences. We've highlighted this already. This is exactly what we've been talking about. You have been prepared and you're being prepared. You've been prepared for where you are now. The question now becomes, what's next? And we're going to talk a lot about that tomorrow. So underneath there, it says next to the photo where the girl's like kind of hanging like from a rock, how have you grown? This is great reflection. This is great reflection. If you want to come back and reflect on this or put some music on and come back, I think this is really important. I ask myself this all the time when I'm at a rebirth moment. How have I grown? What have I learned? How have you grown? Because from your growth, you will see the gems, and those gems are part of what's to come next for you. Right? Anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, it's inevitable that you'll grow from life, by the way. It presents challenges to you on a daily basis, but I don't have to tell you that you know that. It's just sometimes we tend to let those challenges feel like, again, they're obstacles and they're meant to stop us when really they're meant to grow us. For instance, that rock climber hanging upside down there. I bet you she didn't start hanging upside down like that. I guarantee you she didn't start like that. Okay, she had to learn certain grips. She had to learn how to hold and maneuver her body and distribute her weight in a way that she could actually hold it. And this is just me guessing. I'm not a rock climber myself, but
Neither
just
am I.
assessing the situation, I would have to say she had to learn things to be able to do that, right? Now, yes, she has that little rope holding most of her weight, but still, most of us cannot get in that position right there off the bat, right? We would be falling off. Okay, and that's what I'm talking about. Any skill that you're acquiring will take steps, and you will have to learn to grow, to become better at it and become masterful at it. So that's how life teaches you. It gives you little challenges that strengthen you until you become proficient in what you're doing. And then you can step straight into doing things like that. Yeah.
And then underneath there, it says, what have you been resisting? What have you been resisting? Or what are you tired of? The reason why we want you to ask this question or two questions, what have you been resisting? What are you tired of? Because in the moment when you're about to grow, remember I said when you get to the halfway point of something, get the halfway point of your journey, or even when you reach a completion point where you're like, I've done and learned everything I needed to about that, there comes this energy of resistance. We resist the next level, we resist the next layer, or we start hearing ourselves saying things like, gosh, I'm just so tired of this. So tired. So tired about the way the world is, so tired about the frameworks, so tired about how I'm living my life, so tired about people. I hear this all day long. I've heard this for 23 plus years. Tired of the way their money situation is, tired of the way their health and state of body is, tired of fighting and in conflict, tired of not getting what they want, tired of them not having the way their manifestations want to unfold, tired of not being able to see and have their intuition work for them, tired of feeling disempowered, tired of not having love in their partnership, tired of, I could go on and on and on and on. You get the point. We all face a point where we feel tired of something, and I get that. That's a really great indicator. Just bookmark this if ever you hear this in your internal conversation or external. If you ever hear this, it's an indicator that you're ready for the next step. You're ready for your next step. Anybody here at that point where you're tired of something? Yeah. And that's an ongoing thing. Have any of you ever noticed that you kind of master one area of your life? Okay, nailed it. Like got that area. And all of a sudden over here opens up and you're like, no, now that just went like to hell in a handbasket, right? This is the evolution of our life. But it's important for us to look at this because that means there's growth to do. There's something we need to learn. There's something we need to do. There's something that we're avoiding doing. There's something. And this is something that's not in your notes that I want to touch on. Remember you and I were talking about how one of the things that we've seen, how many of you know a lot about something? I think we all know a lot about stumping. How many of you have taken like a course, a workshop, a program? Maybe you've gone to a conference. How many of you? Yeah, I'm like all parts of me. Stand up. How many of you have lots of tools right now? Lots and lots and lots. How many of you have so much stuff that you're like, oh my gosh, like I know what to do. Like I've read the books, I've done the course, I've done all the things. How many of you? Okay. So here's the truth. This is the hard truth. Capital T truth moment. It's not that we don't know enough.
Mhm.
That's not the problem. You all know enough. You're very smart. You're wise. You're plugged into source. You've done all the things. It's not that you don't know enough. Want to add something to that?
No,
Okay,
no, you
okay.
go for it.
It's not that we don't know enough. It's that we're not doing the thing that we know to do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You all know that if you drink enough water, you're going to be hydrated. How many of you drink enough water in a day? I know I don't,
Definitely drink more.
right? We all know that if we get up and move our body, we're going to feel good. Happy hormones, our body looks good, we feel good. How many of us, honestly, and you don't have to put up your hand for this, this isn't a call out session, but I want you to ask yourself, like, am I getting up and moving my body every day? We all know that meditation, mindfulness, spiritual practices are really good for us. They allow us to stay connected to source, stay connected to our higher self. And do you do that every day? Many of us know that growing requires us to do the thing.
Yeah.
But sometimes we don't do the thing.
Yep.
And that's not because you're not smart. You are. You're smart, you're intelligent, you're wise, you've got all the things. What's happening is it's the resistance that's coming up, the stuff you're fighting within yourself that's coming up to sabotage. And it pulls us off track. It pulls us off of our purpose. So it's not anymore. And this is the work that we're doing with all of our clients. We made this shift. I've been talking to Alexander about this. Gabriel and I have been talking about this in all of our programs, all 3 of our containers right now. We are going to be making this shift drastically. We started doing it about 6 to 12 months ago. Now it's going to be even more prevalent, where it's not about us giving you more information. It's about you taking those tools, practices, and doing something with it.
Implementing it, embodying it, doing it.
Yeah. And sometimes it's like we need a workout buddy. Sometimes we need a study buddy.
Yep.
Right? Sometimes we need an accountability partner. Sometimes we need someone to just be like, I'm walking this path with you, like I got you.
Sometimes you need a quick little check-in.
Mhm.
Like, how you doing?
And this is the thing that I'm finding. Like even yesterday, I had a session with one of our light leaders, and I knew, I said to Gabriel, I know I'm going to sit and I'm going to listen because she knows all the answers. And I'm just going to mirror and reflect it back. She knows the answers. And yes, we'll give some extra like tools and things like that. But I'm sharing that with you because we're at a point now where learning new skills, you can. If there's something that you are curious about that you're like, oh, I've always wanted to, you can write that in your notes. If it's curiosity, not from I need to because it's a pressure thing. And in order for me to do that thing, I have to do this first. Curiosity. Curiosity is more in alignment with your soul alignment. I need to is coming from the ego, telling you that you're not enough. Curiosity. And curiosity, it feels gentler. It's not going to be this like pushing thing. Sometimes we do need certain things, right? We need healing, we need support, we need to get our SHIT together sometimes, right? Like that's a need, you know? But make note of that. Most of the time, it's about the integration and the application, right? So notice where there's resistance, okay? The next page, and then I'm going to answer some of the questions that have come in. Courage, confidence, and commitment. Many of the times we need the courage to say yes to ourselves. You want to do that, please?
Yeah, you go ahead. You can keep okay.
Yeah.
You need the courage, the confidence, and commitment, like we're speaking about, right? So the courage, as you know, is acting in spite of any sort of fear that might arise, right? Because, well, when you move towards something new, there's change involved, and change is usually scary for us, right? Even though we know that change is going to happen regardless of what we do, we still have that idea that, and this is mainly because of our experience in life, we think that maybe it might not work out exactly the way we intended, or better said, as your ego might say it, right? Things could go wrong. That's really what the whole idea is that keeps us from really taking action in the way that we want to.
Yeah.
Right? We don't want to find out that we moved towards something and then it didn't work out the way that we wanted to, etc. But I'm still yeah. Right. So, but having courage is taking action despite that. And then that confidence is through, again, your learning and your connection to what you really are, right? You can step into doing the thing fully, right? Knowing that you may not necessarily in the instant know the A to Z, like we were speaking about. You won't know everything about it. But what you do know about it is what you need to know right then. And being the learner that you are, anything you have to make up, you can continue to learn. So you can be confident in what you know right then. We'll be talking about that a bit more. The commitment, as we say, is just the follow through, right? That halfway point where most people quit. Imagine if you decided from beforehand that regardless of what happened, you were just not going to quit. Do you know that it would be inevitable that you would succeed? Because you just keep going until it happened, right? That's the point. So commitment is huge. When you commit to something fully, it's like you're giving yourself a grand yes before you even began taking steps. So it's a yes no matter what already, right? So list out what you already do, know, and have, right? If you can, just like on there, if you can write a list of all the things, right, in this section that you already do, know, and have, just give yourself a nice little inventory there of all the skill sets that go towards what you desire. All you do, know, and have, just so that you can see it. Because sometimes we forget that we have certain skills. For instance, I'll give you an example. In my history, right? History. I did electrical engineering, right? Got a bachelor's degree in electrical engineering and all that stuff. And that was quite an undertaking for me to do that. I did that, right? And it's there. And I thought I'd never ever use it, honestly. It's just like, oh yeah, I did that. But it had a purpose too.
Yeah.
Right? Because the way I think now is different. The way I look at things is far different than if I hadn't done that. Yeah. And that's a perspective that allows me to look at information completely differently to how I would had I not done that. Right? And there are many other things along the way that served a purpose that I couldn't see at the point in time, but they do make sense when I look at what I'm doing now. So what have you done? What skill sets do you have, right? What do you know that actually contributes, but it might not have been how you intended it to work originally, right?
And that piece helps you build the confidence.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of times we feel insecure about maybe the steps we're taking or life. And when you start to look at what you already do, or what you know, or what you have, you're like, oh, okay, I'm starting to build that confidence muscle. And then you can then grow from there. You can take your next step and layer from there. But if you're starting at like, I don't know, that's something else, right? Like we want to up that to be like, okay, now and then from there, because there's always more to grow. It's not like you're like, okay, great, like I've acquired all these skills or I know all this stuff now. That's great. No, that's not what you where you end. That's where you begin. That's your next jump off point. Like, great, I've got that. Now what? Now what's the next layer? This is about building confidence and trust in yourself so that you're like, okay, if I've got that sense of confidence, now it's about really expanding. Now it's about a bigger conversation. And this is where life gets to be really fun. When in that bigger conversation, you're not struggling anymore. In that bigger conversation, this is what happens in Thrive, Light Leadership, especially those two containers. It's not about the struggle conversations. It's about what are we creating? How are we growing? What's the next expansion? Let's celebrate. Let's keep moving and growing. That's what that conversation is about.
And what do we already have? Right? Because that sense of gratitude for what we already have is putting us in that position of being at a higher state to begin. Right? It's not like we're lacking something and trying to create from a state of, I don't have anything going on. Things are so rough for me. It's no, I already did this. I already accomplished all this. I am all this. And onto this, I will continue to add and have new experiences at a high level. Yeah.
So I'm going to answer Lisa's question first, and then we're going to continue on here. So, can you speak to balancing the micro and macro? Sometimes I get still, probably still
Sometimes I get
stuck.
still.
Maybe it's supposed to be stuck with all the
Okay.
ideas and thoughts of what I should step into in those areas.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you.
Wanna-
Okay.
I know,
Okay. You go ahead. You go ahead. You go ahead.
You know, you go.
Okay. Good.
Okay, you
Okay.
go.
Well, the micro and macro is according to our perception, firstly, right?
Mhm.
Because just like we said a second ago, and this is my take on it,
Mhm.
you can go after. Being a mother, for instance, and being a mother to kids, right, or father to kids, it's a purpose that is necessary. It's so important to raise individuals that are going to be healthy beings, healthy human beings, like they call them, but I call them beings, okay?
Mhm.
Healthy beings, and show up in the world to contribute to the world as well, right? And that's important. But to some people, they might take that as a micro and
Mhm.
look at something like opening a business that transforms many lives as the macro, right? But those are the same thing,
Mhm.
because the end result is that we contribute to the world in a positive way.
Mhm.
So the micro and macro is in our minds, to be
Mhm.
real about it. And it's really how we choose to see what we're doing and what we choose to give to it.
Mhm.
So balancing them is really, in
Mhm.
my perspective, balancing who we're going to be in each
Mhm.
situation that we're given.
Mhm.
We're given opportunities in life,
Mhm.
many different ones, and who we show up as in each one of those is what we're contributing to the situation. And that's the importance of it. So it's
I
not really
agree.
a matter of balancing the situation itself,
Mhm.
it's balancing ourselves in the
Mhm.
situations. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can go ahead.
And I'll just add to that because I think that's
Yeah,
perfect.
thanks.
What I'll add to that is that when you're a multi-passionate being, which
Yes.
I know many of you are, I am too. I have a lot of ideas.
Yes.
I always take it in and up and I meditate on it. And I ask my higher self, I'll ask Creator, what would you have me do in this moment? And this is a bigger conversation that we started happening. We initiated it in Light Leadership just this past week around a lot of times, again, it's like we're in our I, like me, what I want to do. And this is where, if you're wanting to have a bigger conversation, and we'll talk about this tomorrow, but these are bigger conversations that we're having in Light Leadership because we get stuck sometimes in our individual I,
Mm-hmm.
and then we forget about the whole.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said earlier, when you start focusing more on the whole, the I gets taken care of
Yes.
because you're a part of the all, you're a part of the whole.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the individual I, one bar further on that, it has limits, right? It has limits because we see ourselves usually within specific limits to identify what is I and what is not, right? And so sometimes when we have those limits, we're not able to extend ourselves far enough to becoming the identity that we need to be to fulfill the new desire, right? So there's something to look at there in terms of growth that has to take place for us to transcend the personal I, right? To fulfill this bigger vision. Yeah.
And Becky was saying, in answering what life has shown you, I realized throughout my life, life has been trying to show me my purpose and my gifts, but I was overwhelmed and clouded more by fear and doubt. So it'll be interesting to feel through what life has been showing me throughout my life, if I can clear out the clouded emotions. That, yeah, 100%, Becky. And that's a big part. Becky's in Thrive. That's a big part of what we're going to do with you guys in this next section, in going into the purpose, fulfilling your purpose. And we'll announce the name and all that stuff tomorrow. But that's a big part of what we're going to be doing in that section, is helping clear out the limitations, clearing the fear, clearing the doubt, clearing the overwhelm, like for real, like getting to the root of it, clearing it out so that there's space. And when there's space, then it's easy. You can breathe and you just relax into what you are to be doing now. And it's not to undermine anything. Whatever any of you feel you are to be doing now, it is important. It's just a matter of, do you have the support to remind you that it's important? I had a call with somebody yesterday, and we were talking about, even with your sister this morning, her and I on our walk, we were talking about how many times, especially as women, we're doing all the things, but we're not told, or it's not expressed or shared to us. Oh my gosh, thank you so
Grateful. Yeah,
much.
the gratitude.
You're doing such a great job. You're doing all the things. I'm so proud of you. Like, thank you so much for all the things. Thank you, 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 thank you. And this is what I was able to do. This is what I do for a lot of our clients, especially the female clients, is to say that. In the client I was speaking to yesterday, just her being able to sit and receive and hear, you're doing a great job.
Mhm.
You're an amazing mom. You're an amazing leader and career woman. You're doing such an incredible job, like and authentically. Like I was saying it in a specific way to her for her heart. We sometimes need that. That's important because sometimes we feel like we're doing all the things, especially if you're juggling many things. So Becky, we're gonna do that, and then we're gonna elevate, and then we're gonna relax in. But I really want y'all to hear that there's not one purpose on this planet that is better than or less than any other purpose.
If a puzzle piece is missing, the puzzle is incomplete.
Absolutely.
Complete, right?
Yeah.
So each purpose, each part
Yeah.
is important.
Lisa's saying I used to shrink back when I got in that zone. Now I shake it off and say I choose. Thanks to Thrive. Thank you so much,
Beautiful.
Lisa.
Beautiful.
Thank you. And avoidance feels safe. Yep, that's the ego. It wants us to stay safe and comfy 100%. I know what I know, but I do use what I know. Right. I love it. I know what I know, but how do I use what I know?
Good, that's
The
it.
how do we use what we know? So we're going to talk more about that tomorrow. So I'm not sure if that was Laura or who it was
It might
that
have
wrote,
been.
because it just says iPhone. Alexandra, can you take a screenshot of that for me and send it to me? And then I'll bring it forward tomorrow, because tomorrow we're going to talk about action. Because I get that, right? Like some of us are like, like I just want to get going already. Like I just want to do the thing already. But without the clarity, without the depth, then we're literally, it's like walking on thin ice. We're like, I'm going, but you have no idea what's going to like blow out. And that blows out our nervous system. It blows out our life sometimes. So it's like, this is where the foundation is really, really important. So we're going to talk about that tomorrow, 100%. Yeah. Let's see. That's what I love about this program. Integration, 100%. Lunch break is now or no problem. I totally get it. We started
See
late
ya.
too, so that's why we're going a little later
Yeah,
today.
yeah.
Confidence is such a paradox, right? We're confident that we are not confident. 100%. I agree with you. Yes. And Alexandra is so talented at activating my curiosity in our one-to-ones. Love that you guys are speaking to guiding pieces. So good. Thank you so, so much. We love and appreciate you. Thank you. Golden, right? Okay, this is my first day, an intro to your family, and I'm loving the
Hi, April.
content. Thank you so much, April. We so appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Let me see. And I know that Marta popped back on. I know she was in a meeting. So Marta, if there's any question, because Marta's she signed up for a VIP, type your question, or if you want to unmute yourself, if you're able to, I'd love to do a hot seat with you. And if not, we can move it to Friday as well. Energy. Yes, 100%. Energy. Go energy all the time. I feel like homeschooling is something coming. Yeah, but I feel a lot of resistance to it. However, I also know it's so in alignment with our values and a family culture. 100%. Like we talked a lot about that at the conference about making the decision to homeschool. And I think when you know, you just know, right? And we can talk more about that too. Makes sense. Multi-passionate here, right? All of us so multi-passionate. I love it. Right in for the new offering. Me too. This is going to be so good. Like, I'm really excited for all of you to get really like ignited about what's next for you. I think it's gonna be really great. So if Marta's still here, if you want, you can type it in the chat. We'll hot seat with you. Or if you want to move it to Monday or to Friday, we can do that. All right. So coming back to the notes, list what you feel will support your soul fulfillment. This is a really important piece. I do this all the time. When I'm growing, when I'm becoming the next version of myself, I list out like, what do I need support with? This came up in the session, one of the sessions yesterday. Like, what do you need support with? And this is about your soul fulfilling the next layer. What do you need support with? And I would sit with this, like sit with a, tea or a coffee, sit outside, put some music on, like really feel into this one. Notice I didn't say, what do you think? We're saying, what do you feel? Because what you think you need support with, and maybe that's where you start. You start writing out what you think you need support with, but then deepen it, get present with yourself. What do you need support with from that feeling space? Like, for example, I said to Alexandra, I'm so grateful that we have such a great team, even our admin support, because I was able to get such great support with like building the landing pages and getting support with that. Like normally I'm like, we're doing all of that in the background. And I was like, like I need some support here. And so I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna like stress myself about fraying my nervous system to do this. I'm gonna reach out and be like, hey, can you help me? Done in 10 minutes. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so grateful. I had a moment, I even said that to Alexander, I'm like, I'm so grateful for the support that I have right now. I'm so grateful for the support that I have right now. Like we think we know, but then there's a feeling, deepen into the feeling. Okay. So the last piece that we want to do with you is really anchoring and restoring trust. Trust is really, really important when it comes to living this bigger piece, anchoring and restoring trust. So an energetic practice that I want to give you that how I've restored trust is knowing that trust doesn't come from the world. If I place trust in the world, like I trust this one's going to show up, I trust that the computer's going to work, I trust that we're going to click the right link, I trust that everything's just I'm placing trust in the material physical world that has fluctuations, has wobbles, has duality. Things could go wrong. I've learned over time to take that energy off of the world and the people. You will get trust in people again, but not by how you think. And I've learned to bring it back to myself. And then I go straight to source, straight to creator, straight to the divine. You really want to align your purpose and align with your purpose. You have to take the pressure off of the world and all the to-dos and all the strategy and all the things. Those all work. They're there to support us. But notice I said they're there to support us. That's not where my trust comes from. Trust for me has always come from realigning my energy, my consciousness, and my focus to that of source. And when I rest in source, and we're going to do this for like 2-3 minutes. When you rest in source, the divine, God, creator, whatever you want to call it, there's many names for the same thing. When you rest in source energy, it just supplies you with everything. It takes care of you. And when that happens, there's an overflow effect where you trust in the alignment. You trust in the connection with the divine, and it fills you with truthful trust. And truthful trust is knowing that I'm in alignment. My life is in alignment. Everything's unfolding as it needs to. And I trust my inner guidance because it's coming straight from my higher self. Okay? So wherever you are, you can have your eyes open or closed for this, whatever feels really good for you. If you're multitasking, you can come back and do it again afterwards and catch the replay. I'm going to close my eyes for a moment. And I want you to take a deep breath in. Exhale. And just let everything go. Take another deep breath in through the nose. Exhale out through the mouth. Another deep breath in through the nose. And just feel your body arriving. Feel yourself being right here, right now, in this present moment. And I want you to imagine all the strings of energy that extend out from you, that extend out through you, through your body, out into the world, out into all the things, the people, the tasks, the to-dos, the path. And just notice that there's all these strings of energy that go out. And it's okay. That's part of how we extend. And for this moment, we're going to draw our energy in just for a moment. All the things are taken care of. You've got to trust. All the things are taken care of. They're all held in light. All the people, all the things, all the tasks, they're held in source, just as you are. So I'm going to bring my awareness back to my body, back to myself for a moment, back to my core, back to my heart. And then bring your attention in and up. And imagine lifting your gaze, your eyes, your consciousness up through your crown, connecting up to that beautiful channel of light that connects to the divine, to source, to creator. And feel your energy, your consciousness lift and lift and lift. Setting the intention, I connect to the divine. I align with the divine. I align with source. I connect, I align, and I rest in pure source energy. I connect, I align, and I rest in pure source energy. And just feel that for a moment. Imagine that there is the most beautiful light surrounding you. Light from the divine, light from source, holding you, welcoming you back to yourself, welcoming you home to yourself. And it's echoing to you, I've got you. I hold you always. I love you always. I've got you. Let me hold you for a moment. And as I hold you, we restore your heart, your mind, your consciousness. We allow this energy to flow through you to realign, to feel held, to feel supported, to reconnect to this divine energy, knowing that all is taken care of, all is well. And from this space, trust in yourself, trust in your choices, trust in your decisions, trust in your path are reconnected and realigned. Everything else falls away. In this moment, you are resting in the highest truth. And Source is echoing to you, trust. Trust that you are held. Trust that the path will be made clear. Trust that the resources to support you will show up. Trust in your own decision-making and your choices. Trust in your own intuitive guidance. Just feel this restoration, feel this return, the return to source, the return to your truth. And then begin to feel this energy now pouring down, pouring back down into your consciousness, back down into the top of your head, back down into your body vessel. And it enters in and it gives your body that same feeling that all is well. I trust. I trust in my decisions. I trust in my path. I trust in the knowing of what I need, what I'm curious about. I trust in the next steps. I trust in my next yes and my next no. I trust. And I know what is aligned for me. I know what supports me. I know what is good for me. I know what takes me closer and closer to becoming all that I am. I know. And just feel that knowing for one more moment. Feel that knowing in your body. Feel that knowing in your body. Take a deep breath in. Softly exhale. On the inhale, breathe this knowing fully into your body, your heart, and then on the exhale, send it all the way down, down through your body, down through your deep knowing. Exhale this all the way down, down through your body, down through your legs, and down into the earth. And one more deep breath in. And exhale all the way down. Wiggle the fingers and the toes. Eyes. So I'd love to hear. You're so welcome. Simple and powerful. I always say simple is better. Complication, that's too much. Creator is not that complicated. right? Mm-hmm.
Really good. The energy was
Mm-hmm.
pulling.
Yeah. And there's a space there to write a mantra. So anything that came through for you, like I trust in myself. I trust in the alignment. Create a mantra for yourself. I love mantras because they're a reaffirmation of the truth for you, a reaffirmation of the truth for you. Okay. Beautiful. So calming, peaceful, powerful. Thank you. You're so welcome. And trust. Yes. So beautiful. You're so welcome. You're so, so welcome. And I know that Marta, she typed in there, I would like support with trusting in the day to day when I get wobbly. And then she goes, and now you're speaking about it, right? That's so good. This is so good. So how that works, Marta, is exactly this. And we've known Marta. I've known Marta since the Transformational Arts College when I was a student there. And then when I started teaching right after. And so this goes all the way back to like 2002, 2003. So it's been a long time. And Marta came into our world recently over just in the last less than a year. And I feel so grateful to reconnect with her because she's a powerhouse and she's got a lot to share with the world. And I feel like she's just getting started, even though she's created so much in her internal world. She is so talented as a healer, as a coach, as a leader, and she's getting ready to really bring something big to the world. And we both feel that. We can sense that. And so yes, when you anchor back with the self like what we just did, then naturally the overflow in trusting in your next step, trusting in what to say yes to or what to say no to starts to happen. Trust in if something presents itself and you're like, that feels like an aligned step, go for it. Trusting that if it's like that isn't aligned, then trust that, right? This is what is good for me. This is what's not. This is what feels aligned. This is what allows me to take that next step. This is what's not. When you have that internal, and I highly recommend for any of you, if you ever feel wobbly in your decision making, if you feel wobbly in the trust department, if you've had things you started and didn't go the way that you thought, I would come back and do that practice every single day to restore the trust field. Because if you don't have trust in your body, how do you ever make a decision in align with confidence in your purpose or any of that stuff? It's really challenging, right? So yeah, I'm so happy that that aligned for you. And I can leave you a voice note, Marta, if there's anything else that you want to go deeper on, or we can bring it into Friday. Felt that in my throat and my sacral chakras, bringing forward areas I know I need to continue to work on. That's really powerful. Sarah Jane saying, I felt the tingling of energy in my body. So beautiful. You're so welcome. I got pulled out, but right back in. That's amazing. I think Gabriel did too. I felt him kind of like wobble and I was like,
No, that's what I
hey.
was saying. I was about to say this lady on the
Yeah.
tightrope there is perfect for it
Right.
because, as I said,
Yeah.
the energy was pulling.
Yeah.
I could feel the magnetism of it moving left and right, and it was pulling. It was good.
That's so good. I love that. So calming, peaceful, simple. So happy to hear that. You're so welcome. And so today, two more things that we just want to cover, and then we'll let you guys go. Reach out to Alexandra for your next puzzle piece. I'm not going to tell you what it is. You got to go message her for it, and she'll send it to you. Also, in the Facebook group, if you want to come and have some fun with the purpose after party, something will be posted in there in the next little bit about what that can be so that it can help you integrate what we've talked about here today. And I have something for you guys. Okay. Thank you for posting the
Ooh.
link. All right. Where did I have so many notes. You should see all the things. Oh my goodness. Okay. So one thing that we want to say now, we have something coming up that we're going to share with you tomorrow and Friday. Okay.
Yes.
However, I felt this morning and I wrote this down. And then when Gabriel got in, I was like, oh my God. I was like, I got to share this with you. And then I left Alexandra the voice note. I was like, oh my gosh, I think this is what we should do today. And so I want to acknowledge that, we're here and yes, we're walking a path, but it's more than that. You're walking a path, but you're also bringing forward the next part of your sacred purpose, right? That you're shaping and you're co-creating and you're actualizing this path. So this is really about lighting up your sparks, the spark plugs, your seeds that are within you that are waiting to just be seen and heard. So again, we're going to talk more about all the ways that if you feel called to work with us a little bit more, tomorrow and Friday, we'll talk about that. However, if you're feeling, and this has got to be like off of pure alignment and feeling, this is what I got this morning, is that there is a larger conversation that we are having in all three of our containers. And we'll talk about those tomorrow. If you're curious and you want to like jump the line, you're like, I'm ready to go, or I'm ready to do something. Okay. I'm ready to get curious and I'm ready to lean in. Alexandra, can you post the Calendly link? If you're curious, I highly recommend that you book something. And if you book today, even if your session with us, and we're going to have a really fun conversation, a soul aligned, purpose based conversation. Even if it happens tomorrow or the next day or Saturday or Sunday, if you book it today, okay, we have some secret gifts for you. I'm not going to tell you what they are here. They are secret. Okay. They're secret gifts that only will be known to you if you book that call. Now, those of you that are in our community already, you're in our programs and all that stuff, we are going to have so much fun. We have so many gifts for you guys coming up, like really cool things, kind of like our gold cards that we gifted you guys. We have something coming for you. Okay. So those are for those in Light Leadership and in Thrive. If you're curious though, and you're like, I'm loving the vibes, I'm curious, I'm ready to do something, I'm ready, I don't know what it is, but I'm just ready, book, like click that link that Alexandra just posted. And maybe Alexandra, if you could post it in the Facebook group as well on the thread, that'd be so, so helpful. And click it if you book it today. So if you book it tomorrow, these secret gifts are not going to be there. Okay. Because you're already going to know all the bits and pieces. This is going off of a pure alignment vibe. Pure alignment, pure trust in your knowing, trust in yourself. Isn't this how we walk life? Right? Like when I moved to California, I had no idea what was about to occur. I just had these little snippets. Be in California, go to California. Okay, I'm going. Bye. And so many miraculous things happen. Us coming down to Florida. I knew that I wanted to come down. I just wasn't sure when. And then all of a sudden, one of my peers, she said, hey, I want to invite you to speak on stage. And I was like, oh my gosh, of course. When is it? September. Great, let's go. We had no idea the magic that would occur by being here, especially one of the biggest ones being Gabriel reconnecting with his family after like 14 plus years. Some of you saw my video on my personal profile, tears, bawling for like 2 days. Oh my God. That's the magic, but that's life. You just get this nudge and you get this feeling and you get this call and you're like, yes. And we may not know exactly what's on the other side of that. We just know by feeling. And when you walk life this way, this is a practice for you guys, okay? When you walk life this way, you now are no longer making decisions based on logic, your logical mind, or your past, or your loops, or your patterns. You're actually making decisions off of pure alignment. Every time our clients, us, Alexandra, have made decisions based off of alignment without needing to know what's on the other side of that, magical, awesome, fantastical things happen, hands down, every time. But when we make decisions based off of logic and what seems good and what sounds good and what la la la, that sets up something else. You all know. How many of you here have made decisions based out of pure logic? Like logically, it sounds good. Logically, it makes sense. Logically, I'm going to take that step. And sometimes it works out, right? It sometimes does. How many of you have done that? But how many times have you done that and you're like, me, it was just kind of like half-assed. Like it didn't really turn out the way that I thought it was going to do. It wasn't what I really thought it was going to be. I know I've had that experience. Then how many times have you made a decision where it's based off of pure alignment? You're just like, whoo, right? And you're like, whoo, and something's moving you, something's pulling you, something's calling you, and you can't explain it. It doesn't make any logical sense, but you're following the pull, you're following the call. That's the whole, this in and of itself is a practice. Make more decisions like that. Whether you're doing it here and you feel it here, if you don't feel it here, then do that in your life. Always. If you do feel the call and you're like, I'm curious, something's pulling me, and I can honestly say it's a curiosity and a pull, then book a call. It's not a sales call. Okay. Just let y'all know it's not a sales call. It's an align with purpose call. We want to get clarity. We want to hear more about your journey, learn more about your path. If there is an aligned fit, then we're going to share some things and we have some secret gifts for you. And then we have some extra secret gifts for you if you do choose to do some further work with us that's going to like blow your mind. Okay. And then after today, if you book the call tomorrow, they'll be evaporated. Okay. This is really a practice of you trusting and not taking too long to make decisions. Sometimes we take a long time to make a decision. And I get it. Sometimes we need to sit with it. We need to mull things over. But this is really about, you want to talk about trust? Trust says yes or no. Trust doesn't go maybe, wobble, 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 wobble for like years, right? Trust is really this feeling that comes in from alignment that moves us. So if it moves you, let it move you. Okay? Anything I'm forgetting about that?
I really feel that when it comes to trusting and being open, as we're speaking about here, it's also that element of within yourself, knowing that what you desire is possible, right? Because we've been conditioned to a certain degree to think that some of the things that we're shooting for are beyond us. They're not really beyond us, right? And when we can trust that there's a pathway there, that we have the necessary support, like we discussed a little while ago, and that we're willing to go the full way, right? Things are possible. What seems to be impossible, like I said in the beginning of our conversation the other day, is really possible. It's just sometimes we get stuck on the how will I get there?
Yeah.
Based on my past and based on who I've been and based on all the things I've done and all that I know, how am I going to get there? But it's not you alone that get there ever. Right? I know that might sound funny, but it's never you alone that get there. When we succeed as teams. We succeed not as individuals, we succeed as teams, always as tribes. Right? When you stand up, for instance, and you do something wonderful, all the people that celebrate that success, that's a success for them too. All the people that did little things for you along the way to be who you are and just support you in having the idea in your mind held long enough that would allow you to even go for it. All those people have also had a success through you. The whole world has a success when you rise to another level. That's really what happens. So on some level, right, the trusting is more trusting in the fact that, hey, even though I don't know how, or I don't have it all mapped out 100%, I know somewhere, somehow, that it's possible. Let me take a step in that direction. And then we fall forward, like Tara said, we fall forward on the skis, right? Let that carry us. Momentum. Yeah. Okay.
Awesome. So, so good. So you know what you need to do. If for some reason, sometimes Calendly does this. This is the last thing I'm gonna say. Calendly does this sometimes where it doesn't let people book like the same day.
Yes.
If that's the case and you're like, I want to talk to you guys today, can you message either Gabriel, myself, or Alexander, like pick one of us and just like reach out to us and be like, I want to talk to you today, if that's the case, okay?
Yes.
Because sometimes Calendly does that. It can be kind of funny where it's like so many hours in advance or whatever. Because we opened up our space today, tomorrow, and the following day to be able to connect with you guys. So I just wanted to mention that, all right? If it's a feeling you're like, I got time today, like I'm ready to go today.
Yeah.
Please message. Don't
us
let
know.
that stop you and be like, oh, the calendar doesn't let me book till Sunday. Message us. We're like, I'm ready to go today.
That
okay?
there would be the same thing
Yeah.
we're talking about letting things stop you that
Yeah,
come
yeah.
up in the way,
Yeah.
you know, like, oh, the calendar's not booked today, so that means it's not meant to be today. No,
Don't do that.
it means you take extra action if necessary and continue going on your path. That's what it means, right? Step up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Awesome.
Let's do that.
Have such a beautiful day today. We can't wait to connect tomorrow. Have a beautiful evening and day. And I can't wait to talk to all of you very, very soon.